Welcome to our microlearning podcast on the FASB's project to reorganize and make targeted improvements to the consolidation guidance in ASC 810. Can you help us understand why the FASB is considering making changes to the consolidation guidance?
Sure. For many years, stakeholders have indicated that the consolidation guidance in US GAAP, particularly the variable interest entity guidance, is very difficult to understand and apply. So in 2015, the FASB performed an outreach and received feedback recommending that it should rewrite the consolidation guidance in plain English to simplify it and make it easier to comprehend. As a result, in November 2016, the FASB added a project to its technical agenda to firstly reorganize the consolidation guidance to make it easier to navigate. Secondly, to simplify certain areas of the guidance to make it easier to understand without significantly affecting outcomes reached under the guidance as currently written. And thirdly, to simplify the related party and common control guidance in the current VIE model.
Thanks. So how much progress has been made since November 2016?
After the project was added to the FASB's technical agenda, the FASB staff prepared a preliminary draft of a new topic 812, which reorganized the consolidation guidance into different subtopics for voting interest entities and variable interest entities. The new topic 812 would replace topic 810 in its entirety and would have a separate subtopic 81220 for variable interest entities and 81230 for voting interest entities. Each subtopic would be complete with its own scope through disclosure sections. In its preliminary draft, the FASB staff suggested some simplifications to certain areas, including the related party and common control guidance, such as clarifying that a party must hold a variable interest in a VIE in order to be the primary beneficiary, removing double negatives in the definition of a VIE, and emphasizing that a qualitative assessment should be performed when determining expected losses, expected residual returns, and expected variability, and that a qualitative assessment may be supported by a quantitative analysis. The FASB staff also suggested potential changes to how private companies may apply the VIE guidance to entities under common control, and whether US GAAP should provide a scope exception from the VIE guidance for private companies involved in certain common control transactions. All companies, both private and public, the FASB staff suggested simplifying the related party guidance to eliminate the forced consolidation we have to date when evaluating certain common control fact patterns. All of these suggested changes were deliberated at a FASB board meeting held on March 8, 2017, where several tentative decisions were reached. Would you mind sharing some of those tentative decisions reached by the board at the March 8th meeting?
Sure. At the March 8th meeting, the FASB and its staff deliberated three major issues. 1. Reorganization and simplification of Topic 810. 2. Potential changes to how private companies may apply the VIE guidance to entities under common control. And 3. Targeted improvements to common control arrangements for public companies. The tentative decisions reached were as follows. The board directed the staff to draft a proposed accounting standards update of the reorganization of Topic 810. As you mentioned, the proposed reorganization would result in a new Topic 812 with separate subsections for VIEs and voting interest entities. The board also directed the staff to incorporate language into the reorganization of Topic 810, summarizing the application of the term expected, and to consider developing non-authoritative educational materials on how to interpret and apply the concept of expected in the VIE guidance. Furthermore, the board decided to move the guidance for consolidation of entities controlled by contract from Topic 810, consolidation, to Topic 958, not-for-profit entities. Regarding targeted improvements to the related party VIE guidance, the board decided to provide an accounting alternative to exempt private companies from having to apply the VIE guidance in Topic 810 to private companies under common control. To qualify for this alternative, the reporting entity, the common control parent, and the legal entity being evaluated for consolidation cannot be public business entities. Application of this accounting alternative would be an accounting policy election. As a result of this proposal, the board decided to remove the alternative for private company leasing arrangements under common control from the VIE guidance provided in ASU 2014-07. As it relates to the changes to the related party guidance for all companies, the board decided to align the evaluation of whether a decision maker's fee is a variable interest with the guidance in the primary beneficiary test as amended by ASU 2016-17. The board decided that a decision maker's indirect interest in a VIE held through a related party under common control would be considered on a proportional basis. Currently, when evaluating whether a decision-making fee is a variable interest, a decision maker is required to consider an indirect interest in a VIE held through a related party under common control to be the equivalent of a direct interest in its entirety. They also will propose some changes to the related party tiebreaker test that is applied when a common control group is identified as the primary beneficiary, but no individual party within that group is. Can you take us through those changes?
Sure. The board decided to remove the related party tiebreaker test. In situations in which a related party group under common control has a controlling financial interest in a VIE, and no single entity within that related party group has a controlling financial interest through its direct and indirect interests, the FASB tentatively decided to change the consolidation guidance. Firstly, to require a related party under common control to consolidate when substantially all of the activities of the VIE involve or are conducted on behalf of that related party. And secondly, to provide criteria for a reporting entity to consider in determining whether a related party in a common control arrangement has a controlling financial interest in a VIE. It should be noted that the board's tentative decision also added a principle that clarifies if the parent of the common control group has a controlling financial interest in the VIE on a consolidated basis, that parent is required to consolidate the VIE even if none of its downstream subsidiaries do. The board decided that an entity should apply all forthcoming amendments retrospectively to all relevant prior periods, beginning with the fiscal year in which the amendments are initially applied.
Thanks. So how long do you think until we see an exposure draft on these proposals?
It's hard to say, but we could see an exposure draft as early as the second quarter of 2017.
Thanks for listening, and have a great day.